fault. The days of our military sending 70 cents of every dollars to the United States are over.
It's pretty interesting, right? Because for a liberal, which is what Carney is, he seems very conservative, right? It's almost like he's the new MAGA. One has to wonder, right? Like, how is it that like the guy that ran based on being MAGA, he's being out-MAGA'd by a liberal Carney? Make that make sense, y'all.
We're realizing Canada's full potential, our full potential in clean and conventional energy to power Canadian homes, Canadian businesses, and Canadian sovereignty. We are on track to double our non-U.S. exports over the next decade. That is $300 billion. $300 billion in new orders for Canadian resources, Canadian goods, Canadian expertise. And at the same time, our new defense industrial strategy will catalyze $500 billion of investment to build Canadian industry from aerospace to AI, creating over 125,000 new jobs in the process.
Now, as someone who actually didn't even vote for Carney, right? I didn't. Do I regret it? No. Like, at the time, I didn't know that he was so conservative, right? How could I know? Right? But it turns out that actually Carney is actually like Canada first. At least that's what he's saying. Now, everything he's saying sounds very perfect, all well and good. But I would like to actually know, like, are there some timelines on all these things that he's saying? Like, when is he going to be done? What are the timelines? Or is he just giving us lip service? I don't know. I'm not accusing him of anything. But if anybody knows of any timelines, let us know in the chat. I'm going to keep the clip rolling here.
With our new Buy Canadian policy.
Oh, I guess.
When the federal government...
I guess that's the end of that clip. Now, it's not just Carney, right? So it's not just Carney that we see being all about his country first, right? Even like you can see like the Prime Minister of Spain, I believe. Where is he here? Well, yeah, check this guy out, right? Keir Starmer, who is like known to also be like pretty liberal. Like, this is what he has to say as well.
President Trump has expressed his disagreement with our decision not to get involved in the initial strikes. But it is my duty to judge what is in Britain's national interest. That is what I've done, and I stand by it. President Trump has expressed his disagreement with our decision not to get involved.
So you see that there? Pretty much like he's saying it like what we all thought, right? He's saying it is like, did you expect that from Keir Starmer? Like, he's literally putting the UK first as well. So a lot of countries now, they're actually starting to put their own, a lot of leaders, it looks like it's becoming popular to be MAGA, or like to be, I guess in this case, MUGA, right? Make UK great again. Whatever that is. Now here, let's listen to DJT, right? Like the pioneer of MAGA, the one who decides who is truly MAGA and who isn't truly MAGA.
They will never have a nuclear weapon. Iran, you marking it down? Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. And we agreed to a lot of things, but they didn't agree to that. And I think they will agree to it. I'm almost sure of it. In fact, I am sure of it. If they don't agree, there's no deal. There'll never be a deal. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, and we're going to get the dust back. We'll get it back either. We'll get it back from them or we'll take it.
Mr. President,
yeah. So now you see, like, this is your MAGA guy, but then how is Iran having a nuclear weapon? How does that actually impact the cost of living in the US, which is what you ran on? You said you were going to be America first. So how does Iran not having a nuclear weapon ensure America first? Like, that part doesn't really make sense to me, right? But if anybody knows in the chat, let's talk about it. Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, right? It's an open floor here for a debate.
Blockade is concerned. What's the end game? Is it to force Iran back to the negotiating table? Is it to open up the strait so that gas prices ultimately come down?
Maybe everything. I mean, both of those things, certainly, and more. We can't let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing. They're really blackmailing the world. We're not going to let that happen. And you know, the amazing thing is, we don't, can you believe this? We don't use the Strait. We don't need the Strait. We have our own oil and gas, much.
You just said we're not going to blackmail, we're not going to like let them blackmail the world. But I mean, now, isn't that what he's doing by blockading the Strait? Huh? I don't know. I think that is what he's doing, right? Like, that is literally the definition of hypocrisy.
More than we need. We have more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia. Think of this. We produce more. Saudi Arabia, and add Russia to it. Substantially more. And by next year, we'll have double that amount. So we don't need it, but the world needs it. And many ships are heading to our country right now as we speak to load up with the best. Really, I guess you could say, somebody said the best and sweetest. I don't know exactly what sweet is, but when it relates to oil, it's a good thing. But they're coming to our country right now. There are many boats coming to our country. Now, it could very well be this is going to be settled before that. We've been called this morning by the right people, the appropriate people, and they want to work a deal. They would like to work a deal.
Is it your anticipation this?
Oh, okay, so now we're back to like that they're begging for a deal. So at this point, it's almost laughable, right? Like, I don't know how he can say this with such a straight face. Like, look at how stone cold straight his face is, right? It's almost believable that they told him and that they are literally begging him for a deal. But from my understanding and from what like my research leads me to believe, it's actually Iran. They don't really want any deal except for their 10 points that they've raised. And that's it. So essentially, like, this guy has pretty much weakened the negotiation stance that the Americans had. And now Iran has all the cards. As Trump likes to say, like, we're not, like, you don't have any cards. Well, I think Iran has a pretty big card. Has a pretty big card.
The president that other countries will assist in this effort to blockade Iran and those.
Yeah, other countries are going to also.
Which countries, sir?
We don't need other countries, frankly, but
Yeah, we go again. So other countries are going to help, but we don't need other countries. Well, which one is it, Mr. President, right? Do you need other countries? I guess no, they don't, but then they're going to help. So I don't think any other countries are going to help. Keir Starmer has been clear. Carney has been clear. Like a lot of the allies, former allies rather, they've been clear that they want no part of this. And I'm sure they're probably pissed off, as they should be, right? Because the strait was opened and then this guy made it closed, right? And now he's trying to like leave it and then leave them holding the bag. So I can imagine that these other leaders, they're not happy with what this man has done and the mess that he has put everybody in, really.
they've offered the services. We'll let it be known probably tomorrow.
Has the blockade started, sir?
Yeah, started 10 o'clock.
Bishop Robert Barron supports you and your policies. He praises you for defending religious freedom.
Yeah.
He now says you owe Pope Leo an apology. Will you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead, and it's not going to happen. So I can't. I think he's very weak on crime and other things. So I'm not. I mean, he went public. I'm just responding to Pope Leo, and you know, his brother is a big MAGA person, and he's a great guy, Louis. And I said I like Louis better than I like the Pope. No, you have to have law and order in our country, and that's what we have now. We have the lowest crime numbers we've had in a long time, despite the fact that many criminals were allowed into our country, but we've gotten a lot of them out. We've done a great job on crime. So we have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, since 1900, the lowest murder rate. So we believe strongly in law and order, and he seemed to have a problem with that. So they will never have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, so there you have it, right? Essentially, he's saying that as long as... so the reason why he doesn't like Pope Leo is because Pope Leo is against what he's doing in Iran. Because this guy has been pretty much blowing up Iran, blowing up civilian areas, and then saying Assalam alaikum, or like what I forget the word, but like what's that? What's that thing that they always say? Ah, yeah, Allah, I don't know. Like, let me not say the wrong thing here, but he's been doing it and then saying in the name of the Lord and like just weird things like that. And I think that's where Pope Leo is like, God never really supports the killing of innocent people, and then that's why Trump is lashing out at Pope Leo, saying that he is soft on crime. Now I have a clip of Pope Leo actually responding to Trump here. Well, he didn't really respond. He just reiterated his stance, right? And then showed his authority as a man of peace that he is, right? So, but before we go to Pope Leo, I wanted to just take a look at the comment section here, because you'll see that like it's quite mixed. Well, I haven't really looked at it myself, but we can look at it live together. So here it is here. Someone is like Brandon Max with a blue check mark. He's exhausted. He like literally just wrote, "I'm exhausted." And then that's a pretty popular comment here. 635 likes on it. Someone else is saying Trump doesn't care about anything except his own money. That's correct, right? Like that is what it looks like, right? We've seen many cases of like what appears to be insider trading. Some have said, right, where on Sunday it's like, oh, they're begging us for a deal, and like they're begging, and they really want to make a deal. Then once the stock market has opened again by Monday, then they make their money, and then it's like tough talk again, right? So some people have actually accused DJT and his friends of like kind of manipulating the market. I don't know if that's the case or not, right? But this guy does have a point when he says Trump doesn't care about anything except his money. Yeah. So, but anyways, like, yeah, so the comment section is like, see someone here saying, my coworker told me to read book, The Censored Side of Reality by Dorian Hale, and said, just read it when you have time, in quotes. I thought she was being dramatic, read it over the weekend, and now I kind of get why she said that. It's one of those books where halfway through you stop and think, wait, how many things in life actually work differently than we assume? I genuinely look at a lot of situations differently now. Okay, so, oh my God, I can't believe I just read the ad for a book, but yeah. Anyways, so as you can see here, like the comments are kind of a mess there. Now let's have a look at what Pope Leo is saying.
I have no fear of neither the Trump administration nor speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel. And that's what I believe. I am called to do what the church is called to do. We're not politicians. We're not looking to make foreign policy, as he calls it, with the same perspective that he might understand it. But I do believe that the message of the gospel, blessed are the peacemakers, is a message that the world needs to hear today. I basically said that the message of the church, my message, the message of the gospel, blessed are the peacemakers. I do not look at my role as being political or politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loudly against war, looking to promote peace, promoting dialogue in multilateral relationships among the states, to look for just solutions to problems. Too many people are suffering in the world today. Too many innocent people are being killed. And I think someone has to stand up and say, there's a better way to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with the Pope, right? Like, he's the Pope. He's a religious leader. He's not a politician. We would hope that he doesn't get tainted, right, by politics. So that is exactly what he should be doing, is speaking out against war, and he's doing that. And I thank him for upholding it, standing up to bullies. And yeah, of course, he's going to be lambasted by DJT, right, as we already saw. But he's not backing down. And then you just have to wonder, right, like, what exactly is the problem? But first, look at these comments here. Even Muslims, I'm Muslim, but may God protect Pope Leo. You see, even the Muslims, they are actually like hailing His Holiness. Someone says, Your Holiness, God protect you as a Muslim. Another Muslim, I respect all who speaks peace. Exactly. Someone is saying aura. Another one is Pope for President. No to nuclear bombs. Amen, Pope Leo. Though I am not a Catholic, I am standing in solidarity with you. Exactly. So you don't need to be a Pope. You don't need to be like an Ayatollah to know that the like war. There are no winners in war, right? So, and this is a man who is running for the Nobel Peace Prize, right? That's DJT. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize. So much for that, right? Now you just have to wonder, like, what exactly is it that he's running from? Like, is he running from this, perhaps?
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not.
Yes. So, and the reason I'm asking what is he running from is because he's literally talking about all sorts of unrelated random stuff, and you just have to start to almost wonder, like, why this desperation, right? He's talked about like Emmanuel Macron's wife, compared her to Candace Owens, just attacked Alex Jones, said that like he's a bankrupted guy, said Tucker Carlson runs a Ted Rates podcast, same with Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly, just all random kind of things, right? That you just have to wonder, like, why the desperation? Is it because of his wife here giving an interview without him even knowing about it? Yeah, that's right. He actually confirmed that he didn't know that she was giving this interview or that she gave this interview. But let's listen.
Introduced me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. I am not Epstein's victim.
Yeah, so there you have it. She's saying that she's not Epstein's victim. But also, like, let's just look at some of these actually, because I know that like there might be something to do with this here, like why he's so adamant on distracting everyone. Because right now, like, this news is kind of dying down, right? And everybody's talking about like the Iran war and like and whatnot. But then we have actually these here, right?
Well,
These are
this
real
girl
people.
didn't know a lot.
These are real people.
Even my smile's different. I don't smile the same way anymore.
This was right after when the assaults were happening. I went into a very violent vomiting attack that lasted for weeks, and I had to be hospitalized for it. I almost died, actually.
I don't know, this is hard for me. This is the island behind me.
Epstein's Island.
Yeah, so I was heading to it. Look how happy I am. I was on a photo shoot, I was with a friend, I was enjoying my life, and I had no idea what was about to happen to me.
It just makes me sad for her. I was already in a broken place with my family, and instead of someone like genuinely helping me, they just broke me more. So.
This was the first picture that was used after, you know, the lawyers are getting all your information together and they're submitting it to whatever, and you know, this is what they used. So.
And you, obviously, you look so young because you were.
Little kids.
I mean,
and it breaks my, like, you know, that's how I remember Wendy, and she is my best friend from then till now, and me being the person that helped bring her.
This girl didn't know a lot. Even my smile's different. I don't smile the same way anymore.
This was right after when the
Yeah, so that's really sad, right? Because you just have to wonder. Like, and also I believe he ran based on these two, right? He said they're gonna release everything and then they're gonna expose all the people. But then now he doesn't seem to want to talk about this anymore. He's like, if you ask him, he's like, are you guys still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? That disgusting human being? He quickly just deflects from it and then goes off on a tangent of something completely unrelated and random. Right? And yeah, it's just, you know. So I have to ask the question, right? Do you guys think, like, let me know down in the chat, guys. Do you guys think that, like, the reason why DJT is so adamant on this Iran expedition is because of something to do with these files? Or do you really believe that Iran poses like a real nuclear threat and that it's a real concern of the US and it's a real priority of the US? Let's talk about it down in the chat, guys. I really want to hear from you guys, your opinions. So now what else do we have here? Yeah, and of course, like we have all these, you know, like looking at Iran must not have a nuclear weapon. But did you guys know that apparently the Americans, they are getting to the point where they are so fed up, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And now I'm not condoning violence or vandalism in any way. But now look at this, like just, I don't know if you guys actually saw this video here, but this is some crazy, crazy stuff here. Check this out.
You know, if you're not going to pay us enough to live or afford to live, at least pay us enough not to do this.
Yeah, so you saw that right. A 29-year-old, yeah, because he felt like he's not being paid enough. Now, I don't advise this. At 29, you're just throwing your life away, right? I don't advise this at all, but this is the level where people are at right now. And you just have to wonder, right? Is this the angrier world that Mr. Schwab told us about, right? Where he said that we must prepare for an angrier world. People are getting angrier, right? But the question is, like, to what end, right? And what does this really solve? What does I don't know that this solves the problem, right? Yeah, he completely brought the whole place down.
There you go. I hope I see that.
Now the comment section of this guy here is like the thing that is the most concerning, right? Because if you look there, you see, I hope companies rethink how much they pay people. So a lot of people actually are siding with the guy, right? Almost like the Mangiani story where people were like almost making him out to be like a hero, which by the way, I never hear about that guy anymore. Like, I don't know. Anybody hear about Mangiani recently? Someone else says, I hope the jury finds him not guilty. You'd have to make 40 plus an hour to live in California's economy. Capitalism is nothing but the exploitation of the working class. Another one is, I didn't see anything. I don't know, guys. This looks like AI to me. You see, people are like trying to like just give him deniability. I'm not agreeing to disagreeing, but living paycheck to paycheck, not making it to cover all bills, hurts deep. See? So as you can see, like a lot of people here agreeing. A lot of people here are actually agreeing with that guy's actions. So do you guys agree as well? Let me know down in the chat, guys. Do you agree with that guy's actions? Like, do you think that that is the solution to what we're having right now? I always believe in the pen before like the weapons, right? I believe in dialogue. So I think we should keep on speaking out, speaking up. But then again, some people might say like speaking doesn't really get anything done. And that change only comes from taking action, right? And that's also a very valid argument. Now, this is like a perspective of just a fellow human being like all of us, right? This is what he has to say about that.
The underpaid employee who burned down the Kimberly-Clark warehouse, whose CEO, mind you, makes $16 million a year, he did that for all of us. We benefit from his act of resistance in what is a class war that more working class folks need to acknowledge. Starvation wages are a form of violence on a human being's body. Lighting a warehouse on fire, that's a message. And that company should be grateful the message was just to inanimate objects. Resistance shows up in a lot of ways. I'm not advocating for violence, but just know that violence is being inflicted on us. And if there's ways to demonstrate that we deserve better, God bless the people who are willing to do it. The underpaid.
Yeah, so I mean, like violence is being inflicted upon us, he says. And in a way, not even in a way, like absolutely, right? If you're having people working multiple jobs just to put food on the table and make ends meet, those people now, they're experiencing mental fatigue, physical, like they're being like worn out as well, physically, mentally, right? So that is definitely like an attack on us, right? While all our cries and pleas continues to fall on deaf ears. So in a way, yes, it is. Maybe it's not physical. They're not physically punching us in the face. But let me tell you, every time the money leaves your account for one overpriced thing or the other, that is a jab, right? You know, like every time you're at that, like the grocery aisle, you're trying to ring up your things. As they ring anything there, like the egg is like a left hook, the milk, right hook. oh man, you try to buy steak, that's an uppercut, right? We saw the other video, the other lady was trying to have like a roast beef. She dared to have roast beef for Easter. And she had to really pretty much pay $400 for that. So yeah, so in a way, he does have a point, right? Now the comments again seems to be agreeing with them here. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Someone is saying 7,692 per hour is what the CEO makes. Yeah, and then you have the people that they always support CEOs, right? They're like, oh, you know, like they do so much and they take on so much risk. And yeah, that's true, right? That is true. But will it kill them to just still pay their people like a livable wage? Right? Like, and then they do like the whole, if you're lucky enough to even get a raise, then it's usually just like the cost, like the inflation, right? It matches inflation. So that's like 2 point something percent, even though we all know that inflation is way higher than that, right? So really, is that a raise? If you gave someone a raise to match inflation, is that a raise? Or have you just kept their salary the exact same? Really? And then we wonder how come wages are lagging so far behind the cost of living. It's because of this. And this is what pisses off a lot of people. And then people start to take matters into their own hands. Now, I'm not advocating for that. I'm not tolerating that whatsoever. But this is just the reality on the ground. Yeah. And you see here, like, it's a lot of, like, see someone else here as well. Like, there's an older lady as well. I believe from her accent, she might be from the UK.
And it's gone in days.
Yeah, exactly. So she's from the UK.
£100.
From the UK. And then she's also feeling it as well. She's not even in the US. She's actually in the UK. And she's feeling it. So it's worldwide, across all generations. Everybody's feeling it. Doesn't matter who your government is. They could be liberal, conservative, blue, red, pink, whatever. Everybody's feeling it in every country, with some feeling it a lot more.
Can just be gone in days now. You do a basic shop, 50, 60 quid, maybe 70 quid, depending on the size of your family. The car needs fuel, another 30, 40 pounds. Gone. Now that's not including anything else that you might have needed. Kids stuff, trips, birthdays, anything in between. This isn't about bad budgeting. This is the basics costing more than
I love that she talked about budgeting, right? Because you have the people that say, oh, live within your means, live within your means, right? It's like, I don't think that people are trying to go and buy like Lambos or whatever, right? Most people are just trying to eat like 3 times a day, right? Which I think now that's almost like you're living lavish to eat 3 times a day. I don't eat 3 times a day, but that's for different reasons. I do like the fasting. But like it should be by choice, not because of circumstances.
Afford, costing more than the salaries that we're getting. Pay rises, 1%, 2%, 3%, that's it. We can't keep up with the cost of living. It's crazy. And people say, just cut some things out, budget better. What is left to cut if those essentials are costing you £100? I'm calling.
Yeah, what is there to cut, right? I mentioned the same thing in the last video. It's like eventually people are gonna have nothing left to cut, right? And it's not just her. Like this someone in Australia, a young guy in Australia.
Cost of living in Australia is absolutely insane. $23 for an Easter egg. In what planet is an Easter egg $23? I used to work in this store for $7 an hour. I would have had to work 3 hours for one bloody Easter egg. Don't worry, you can get a block of Coke for $38 or even Pepsi for $39. You can get some frozen prawns for only $34. And if you want,
it's crazy, but I guess this is Australian dollars, right? From my understanding, it's Australian dollars, and apparently I'm seeing in the comment section it looks like they have a minimum wage of 25 Australian dollars an hour. So if someone is getting paid 25 an hour to work in these stores, then again, it's still us that have to pay that money. So we think force the corporations to pay, right? But then they're just going to pass that cost on to we, the consumers. Once again, we're left holding the bag, as is always the case. Yeah. And then people wonder, right? Like, but that is exactly how we end up where we are. Like, I think we don't need more money. We just need like our money to go farther for us. That's really it.
No, this is not an exaggeration. Every $500 that I make, I spend 2,000. Like every large sum of money that I make, I spend double that, if not even more. And it's not because I want to be. It's because everything just is like, it's just bill, 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 bill. Everything's more expensive, but the quality of everything's going fucking second bet. When will this end? This is not an exaggeration.
Yeah. When will this end? It would end when like the pigs start to fly, I guess. At least not here on Earth. It looks like we are here for like the, you know, like for quite the experience, right? People say that souls, they come into the earth because of like they want to fulfill their karma and whatever. So I guess we, in this timeline right now, we must have some kind of crazy karma that we're trying to repay, right? Or to balance, because people will be going through a lot of stuff in today's world. Meanwhile, we have our elected officials, like to be specific, I'll just call his name, like DJT. He wants to continue to make things even harder for people, right? Because right now, like with the way things are, we really didn't need any of what is going on in the Middle East. We really didn't need those, like the Strait of Hormuz being chokeholded. We really didn't need like a blockade there. We didn't need more commotion and conflict. What we needed was for temperatures to be cooled, for the conflict in Ukraine to also be cooled, right? Not for a new one to now start and then take away attention from that one that was already brewing and escalating, right? Not a lot of people talking about the Ukraine conflict anymore either, right? But then how much money went into that conflict as well. So if you start to wonder, like, if we remove conflicts, if we just remove conflicts from all these countries, you know how much more money we would have that we could then use to improve the standard of living at home for all of us worldwide, right? I'm sure Ukraine could have used some of that money that they've spent in the war. Same thing with Russia. Same thing with the US. Same thing with Canada. Same thing with UK. How much money have been spent in wars, right? And then we elect these people to run the country and administer things in the country, right? But then I guess they've prioritized the military, and that's why the military has the largest budgets, because that's where their priority is. You even saw Donald Trump saying, "Oh, we don't have time to pay like for children," right? Like we're too busy to do daycares. We're a big country. He literally said that we're a big country. We're a big country. Here, I'll find that clip. We're a big country. We don't have time for like daycares. So he really thinks we're fighting wars, you know? That's what big countries do. Big countries fight wars. But it's like, literally, my guy, you said when you were running that like you were anti-war and that you're America first. But now you're too busy to take care of Americans because you're too busy fighting wars in faraway lands and then grasping at straws in an attempt to explain what it is that you're doing there. Every time you're asked, or his representatives are asked, what are you guys actually doing there? They're never really able to answer, right? Yeah, check this. Check him out here. Trump, we are a big country. See? Very simple to find that right here.
We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things.
Right after Trump made this statement.
Yeah. So you see that there? Yeah, we're a big country. We don't have time for that. We cannot take care of our children, the leaders of tomorrow, because we're a big country. Like, you can't make this stuff up, guys. But anyways, yeah, I thank you guys for joining me for today's session. Be sure to give this video a like and a subscribe. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. We're almost at 1,000 subs. We're about 155 away. So I thank you guys that have been part of my journey. And love having you guys on here. Be sure to keep watching, and I'll see you on the next one.